Very good evening, everyone. Good evening, students. Sapna, Amit, very good evening. Please confirm about the voice and the video, and I'll start the session. Chaliye. Thank you, Sapna, for clarifying that. On that note, I'm starting this class. So, first of all, I welcome each one of you to my YouTube session on the Indian Contract Act 1872. So let's start with my brief introduction first. My name is Sandeep Khatri. I have done my law from University of Mumbai and my LLM from Jindal Global Law School. My areas of specializations are the constitutional law, criminal law, commercial law, family law, and law of torts. Here is the link of my profile, students, where you can connect with me. And you can follow my classes about all about my courses, about special classes and plus courses. I've also shared the link of my Telegram channel where you can connect with me and ask your questions. At last, I have mentioned my code, that is KHATRILIVE, which you can use to get free access of all the special classes available on Unacademy app, and also to get 10% discount for all the plus courses. So this was about me. So now I request everyone, please be attentive, and this is going to be an interactive session. So the moment you feel you're not clear with anything, feel free to ask questions. So what we are going to do today, students, I'll start with section number 28 as I was getting some questions regarding exception number 3. So I'll start with that only. Kajal, are you present in this class? And yes, okay, how can I forget that? Merry Christmas to everyone, students. Merry Christmas, Amit, and everyone, those of you who are attending this class. So I hope the celebrations are on. Okay, students. So let's start with first the concept of exception number 3, students, because I was getting some questions. And once I'm done with this, the concept of exception number 3 of section number 28, after that we will straight jump to the MCQ part. And in this class, students, we will complete our Contract Act till section 75. And from Monday onwards, I'll start with the Contract Act 2, which is your indemnity and so on, indemnity, guarantee, and then so on. Okay. So let's start this discussion. Okay. So students, try to understand what first section number 28 is. So section number 28 says that if there is any agreement, I'm writing in short, if there is any agreement which is restraining regarding legal proceedings, if there is any agreement which is restraining legal proceedings, the status is going to be void. Now, let's come to direct jump to section number 28, clause 2, which says, section number 28, clause 2 says, students, that if there is a provision, like let's take an example to understand this concept of section number 28 clause 2. So suppose there is a contract between two parties, Mr. A and Mr. B, and there is a contract. Now, as per to the contract, there is one clause in that contract that if there is any breach of contract by any of the party, then the another party needs to file the suit within 1 year. If that is the condition, which means that there is already a clause in the contract that whether it is either A or B, whosoever committed breach of contract, then, so suppose if Mr. B committed breach of contract, then Mr. A can file a suit within 1 year only, which means if he is filing after 1 year, he will not get his right. Okay. So now as per to the clause, students, as per to the clause, it says 1 year. But as per to your limitation act, the time period is 3 years. Now, which one will prevail? The limitation act or the clause in the contract? Anyone who likes to answer in the comments? Yes, please. Anyone who likes to answer? Waiting for your answers, students. Be quick in your responses, please. Okay, I got my answer. Sapna is saying limitation, and this is completely correct, students. The answer is the Limitation Act will prevail, but this is something which is general rule as per to section number 28 clause 2. So I hope everyone is clear with what section 28 clause 2 says, which means any agreement cannot go against the law of limitation as well. Okay, so that was this one example to make you understand. Now I am coming to an exception part. What is the exception of section 28 clause 2? And the exception is exception number 3 of section 28. So let's go into the detail of the exception now. Now understand this. So suppose there are three parties, students. One is government department, any government department you can think of. The second party is Mr. A, and the third party is bank here. Now what the transaction is about? The transaction is that suppose government came up with a plan of, suppose government came up with a plan, and the plan of like they are giving up a tender, and Mr. A has been chosen. Okay, so suppose to construct a bridge or anything like that. Okay, so the government came up with a tender, and who got that tender? Mr. A. Now there is going to be a contract between government and Mr. A, that Mr. A is going to perform his promise to build a bridge, and the government is going to pay Mr. A. But before that contract, the government is coming up with a condition that we need a surety. A surety in a sense ki what if you are not, what if you fail to perform your promise, right? In that case, there comes the role of bank. The bank is going to play the role of surety, which means after this contract, at any given point, if Mr. A is not performing his promise of building a bridge, who is going to pay? The bank is going to pay to the government. So this bank is playing the role of surety. And who is Mr. A? Mr. A is contractor. So now assume then this has been finalized. But there is one condition in the contract which has been placed by the bank. And that condition is, students, and that condition is from the bank side, that whenever Mr. A is going to make default from his end within 1 year, within 1 year of that default by Mr. A, the government should come to the bank and get his money. Which means the bank here is making a time period of within 1 year. If the government is going to the bank after 1 year of that breach by Mr. A, then the bank is not going to pay. Now, if I go the same, if I go with section 28 clause 2, which one will prevail? Obviously, this is not going to prevail. We will look into Limitation Act, but no, this is your exception number 3, which says that in the case of bank surety, this will prevail. This is going to be considered as a valid contract. I hope I am clear with this. Any question you are still, if you are having any questions from exception number 3, you may ask. Waiting for your questions, and if it's all clear, quickly give me a thumbs up. I'll move to the next. which is our MCQ part. Okay, Sapna is clear. And I guess this question was from Kajal, but I guess she is absent today. So I hope she'll I hope she'll go for a recorded session. Chalo, it's okay. One more thing, students, you can write down a case as well. That if you want to write down, because I told you that I came up with a case as well. The case is of National Insurance Company Limited. National Insurance. Let me tell you the name of this is kind of a landmark judgment here, which is on section number 28, clause 2. National Insurance Company Limited versus S.G. Nayak and Company Limited, 1997 Supreme Court. Fine. Exactly, Amit. Exactly. And this is what something written in exception number 3. That is why. Okay. Because bank work like that only, and that is why if bank is playing the role of surety, that has been made an exception for this. Okay. So now let's come to the questions part, students. So let's start our MCQ part now. Yes, easy one. The Indian Contract Act is, what is the nature of the Indian Contract Act? Procedural law, substantive law, personal law, adjective law. Okay, I got the correct answer from Sapna, Amit, and Om Nayak. Everyone's answer is correct. That is B, substantive law. Okay. The Indian Contract Act 1872 applies to. The Indian Contract Act 1872 applies to. Amit, I am repeating the case name for you. The name of the case is National Insurance Company Limited. National Insurance Company Limited versus S.G. Nayak. S for Sandeep, G for Gandhi, Nayak, Nayak. S.G. Nayak and Company. S.G. Nayak and Company, 1997 Supreme Court. Okay. Yes, first one to answer correctly, Sapna, after that Om, then Amit, Gaurav, everyone's answer is correct. It will apply to whole of India, including the UT of Jammu and Kashmir as well. Which of the following statement is correct? How many chapters in the Indian Contract Act? How many total sections? Be quick in your responses, students. I hope no one is looking into their bare acts, right? Okay, there I can see the confusion here. Sapna is saying C, Home is saying B, and Amit is saying A. So I can see a lot of confusion on this one. Okay, students, so the correct answer here is C. There are total 11 chapters and 266 sections. Okay. C is the correct answer. An agreement not enforceable by law means, an agreement not enforceable by law means first one to answer correctly, Sapna, followed by Om, Rahul, Saurabh. Okay, everyone's answer is correct. That is C. Amit, do correct your answer. If there is an agreement which is not enforceable by law, that will be treated as void agreement. Which of the following statements is true? Yes, students. First one to answer correctly, Sapna. Saurabh Sharma, please do correct your answer. Section 2H defines the term contract, 2E defines the term agreement, and 2I defines the term contract becomes void. Wait, just a second. No, sorry. Students, this one is the incorrect statement. So the correct answer is going to be A and B. So the D option is both. A and B is the correct answer. Okay, A and B is the correct answer. So the option should be both A and B. Okay, not all of the above. 2 2I is your basically voidable contract. Okay, 2J deals with contract becomes void. Next. An agreement enforceable by law becomes an agreement enforceable by law becomes first one to answer correctly, Sangeeta, followed by Amit, Sapna, and Saurabh. Everyone's answer is correct. That is a contract. Contract may be, okay, this is all of the above, students. The option is all of the above. All of the above. The seventh option is all of the above. And top three students to answer correctly, Sangeeta, Sapna, Gaurav. Everyone's answer is correct. Saurabh, Om, Amit, Rahul. Everyone's answer is correct. That is, contract may be oral, written, implied, all. A proposal may be revoked by. A proposal may be revoked by. So this question is basically from section number 6. If you can recall all the essentials of section 6, you will not get this wrong. First one to answer correctly, Rahul. After that, Sapna and Gaurav, Sangeeta, Amit, Om, Saurabh. Everyone's answer is correct. That is D, both A and B. Which is true as per to section 10 of Contract Act? Which of the following statements is true? Yes, you may ask the question, Saurabh. Feel free to ask questions. Okay, I guess no one has gone through with the second para of section number 10, students. If you will go with section number 10, para 2, which says, nothing herein contained shall affect any law force in India, which means the Contract Act shall not affect any law force in India by which any contract is required to be made in writing. So suppose if there is a contradiction between Registration Act and the Indian Contract Act, obviously Indian Contract Act will not prevail as far as Registration Act is concerned. And this is something which has been clarified in the second para of section number 10. And that is why the answer is D. Okay. Clear, students? Okay, Sapna later on changed her answer, but I hope now everyone will mark this. Okay, I have got one question as well from Saurabh. He is asking, there is a condition precedent to contract, then non-fulfillment of the same is to be treated as revocation. No, that is not revocation. If there is a condition precedent, okay, then only the contract will be performed. If there is no if the condition precedent has not been performed, then there is no right or duty which has been created by the contract. Okay, Saurabh? Fine. So which means the contract need not to be performed. Next, Mohiri Bibi versus Dharmodas Ghosh 1903 related to which case? Which concept? Yes, Amit, I do know that in most of the cases both of the above is the correct answer, but not always. Okay. First one to answer correctly, Sapna, followed by Om, Saurabh, Amit. Everyone's answer is correct. This is one of the landmark judgment, students, where it has been held that the contract with the minor is void ab initio. The communication of revocation is complete as against the person to whom it is made dash under section 4. The communication of revocation is complete against the person to whom it is made. Read the questions carefully, students. The communication of revocation is complete as against the person against the person to whom it is made. And the correct answer is given by Saurabh and Gaurav. Saurabh, Gaurav, and Amit. B is the correct answer. Everyone else, please do correct their answer when it comes to his knowledge. Okay. The communication of revocation is complete as against the person to whom it is made. Who are competent to contract under section 11? Who are competent to contract under section 11? First one to answer correctly, Sapna, followed by Amit and Saurabh. D is the correct answer, all of the above. The term free consent has been defined under section. Sapna and Amit, correct answer. Om, please do remember that both the terms has been defined, consent and free consent. The term consent has been defined in section 13 and free consent is defined under section 14. And in 15, the term coercion. And on 12, it is related to your unsound mind. So the correct answer here is C, 14. A proposal to students of 12th class of modern school, Dehradun, is a first one to answer correctly, Sapna, followed by Amit and Om. Correct answer. Sangeeta, please do correct your answer. It is an example of specific offer, not invitation to offer. Which of the following is not an offer? Which of the following is not an offer? Sapna, Amit, Lakshya, top 3 to answer correctly. Om, Rahul. Okay. Rahul, please do correct your answer. These all are the example of offer. These all are the kinds of offer. General offer, specific offer, counter offer, cross offer, invitation to offer. These all are the kinds of a valid offer. So that is why the answer is D, none of the above. Okay. A sells by auction to B a horse which A knows to be unsound. A says nothing to B about the horse unsoundness. This is a I have seen this same question at least 10 times in your PYQs. First one to answer correctly, Sapna, followed by Amit and Om. Okay, Om has answered C. No. Om, please correct your answer. The correct answer here is A, valid contract. You can refer the first illustration of section number 17 as well. That is fraud. Okay. So this is not the case of fraud. Okay. Rights of indemnity holder when sued under section. There are only 2 sections on indemnity. So I guess you can easily answer. Rights of indemnity holder. And the correct answer is given by Lakshya. Students, there are only 2 sections related to indemnity. The one is your what is contract of indemnity, that has been defined under section 124, and 125 deals with rights of indemnity holder. That's it. The person who gives the guarantee is called under section 126. First one to answer correctly, Lakshya. After that, Om, correct answer, and Amit, correct answer, that is surety. The person who is delivering the goods is called dash, and the person to whom they are delivered is called dash under section 148. Top 3 students to answer correctly, Sapna followed by Om and Lakshya. A is the correct answer. Amit, correct answer. Baylor and Bailey. Which one of the following is correct in relation to agency? Which one of the following is correct in relation to agency? First one. Okay. Students, chapter number 11 is of partnership, which has been repealed. Chapter number 11 is of partnership. Sapna, you have answered correctly previous. And now the first one to answer correctly, Lakshya. Correct answer, consideration is not necessary. When it comes to agency students, consideration is not necessary. And all these three statements are incorrect in relation to agency. A supplies B a lunatic with necessaries suitable to his condition in life. A is dash under section 68. It's okay, Sapna. I'm going to जो आपके special contracts हैं, which we are going to start their revision from the Monday onwards. So do not miss the class. That's it. Okay. Sapna, Amit, Om, Lakshya, everyone's answer is correct. Entitled to be reimbursed from B's property only. A saves B's property from fire. A intended to act gratuitously. A is first one to answer correctly, Sapna, followed by Amit and Om. Okay, Om has answered A. No. Yes, Om, B is the correct answer. Contingent contract is in. The overall concept of contingent contract lies in from which section till which section number? Okay, Lakshya, just listen this example, and I hope ki then this will not be there will not be any confusion regarding this. Gratuitously means, so suppose you came to my house, okay, and you like ki, sir, I want this book for 3 or 4 days. So I'm just giving you that book to you, and I'm not charging anything, okay. So this means that I have given you that book gratuitously, okay. विच मीन्स कि जिसको हम कहते हैं भाईचारे में, ठीक है, कि आप उस पर चार्ज नहीं कर रहे हो, आप कुछ पैसे नहीं ले रहे हो. And same if you are going to a shop and you are taking a book on rent, in that scenario that is something which is your non-gratuitous. I hope it's clear now. Done, Lakshya? And here the correct answer is, students, 31 till 36, which is D. So Sapna correct answer, Om correct answer. Fine. Next. Okay, Amit, you are asking, sir, tender is invitation to offer or general offer? Tender is invitation to offer. Okay, Amit? Okay, now coming to this, performance of contracts. This is in chapter number 4. The answer is C. And Lakshya, correct answer. This is in chapter number 4, students, performance. So Sapna and Amit, do correct your answer. Amit, if there is a company or a government department who has come up with a tender, which means that is something which is invitation to offer. Now people like, Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C, everyone is going to, submit their proposals. So everyone is going to give them offer. And then finally, the acceptance is given by the concerned department only. Okay, so this is how it works. Very good evening, Mahabir Jaiswal, and everyone, those of you who have just joined. Okay, question number 25. Yes, everyone's answer is correct. Starting from Sapna, Om, Lakshya, and that is B, void. Agreement in restraint of marriage void other than. So there is one exception as well of this section number 26. And that exception is. Okay, question number 26 is from section number 26. And the correct answer given by Ria, Om and Lakshya. Sapna and Amit, please do correct your answer. The answer is, students, that is minor only. Okay, this I have already told you. Agreement and restraint of trade void under section. First one to answer correctly, Sapna, followed by Lakshya, Ria, Mahabir. Correct answer, section number 27. Agreement in restraint of legal proceedings void except. Refer any dispute to arbitration, refer any question to arbitration, both, none of the above. First one to answer correctly, Sapna, followed by Ria, Mahabir. Everyone's answer is correct. Amit, that is C, both A and B. Very good evening, students. A agrees to sell B the car for 2 lakh or 5 lakh rupees. This is valid, voidable, void, illegal. So question number 29. This should remind you section number 29. So this is just a coincidence. And yes, students, first one to answer correctly, Sapna. Amit, do correct your answer. Ria, Mahabir, Lakshya, and C is the correct answer, students. That is void. This is a void agreement as per to section number 29. A agrees to sell B all grains in his granary at Surat. This is valid, voidable, void, illegal. And top three students to answer correctly: Sapna, Ria, Om. Everyone's answer is correct. Amit and Mahabir. A is the correct answer. Agreement void for uncertainty under section. First one to answer correctly: Sapna, followed by Amit and Ria. Okay, Ria, please do change your answer. The correct answer is section 29. Mahabir, correct answer. Wagering agreement is, what is the status of wagering agreement? First one to answer correctly: Sapna, followed by Ria and Om. Everyone's answer is correct. That is void agreement. Exception in favor of certain prizes for horse racing. This is again from your section number 30, students. Exception in favor of certain prizes for horse racing. Sapna, Amit, Ria, and Om. Correct answer. That is B. Contingent contract is. Sapna, Ria, correct answer. That is A only. It's valid. Om and Amit, correct answer A. A promises for no consideration to give B 1 lakh rupees. This is a Sapna and Amit, please do correct your answer. First one to answer correctly: Ria and Om. Correct answer. That is void agreement. This is basically your first illustration of section number 25. The concept of consideration is one of the important essential for to make a valid agreement which will lead to a valid contract. Yes, there is one exception, that is section number 25, and this is not one of that exceptions. A father promises his son to give car worth rupees 50 lakh rupees if he secure 90% marks in the final year of his college. This is Amit, correct answer. Sapna and Ria, please do correct your answer. This is not a valid contract. This is void agreement. This will be valid only if this is in writing and registered. Only in that scenario, if these are the other two conditions, if these two conditions has been satisfied, only then this will be treated as a valid contract. So the answer is void agreement. A agrees to sell his house worth 50 lakh rupees in 50 rupees. A's consent to the agreement was freely given. This is a Amit, also written as well. First one to answer correctly, Sapna, Amit, and Ria. Yes, that's the correct answer, students. If the cost of the house is 50 lakh rupees and someone want to sell it in 50 rupees, this is something which is clearly his choice. The only thing is the court will consider whether the consent was freely given or not, and if that is the case, this will be treated as a valid contract. What considerations and objects are lawful and what not under section? So there's a specific section on this, students. What consideration and objects are lawful and what not? Amit, not for your exams. In exams, you will write both the points, okay? As it is written in section 25. Clause 1. You cannot write in your mains examination answer sheet that it is implied that Amit knows all the answers, right? Okay, section number 38. Okay, the correct answer is, students, section number 23, 38. Om is the only student. Om and Ria, only two students who have answered correctly. It's okay, Amit, you don't need to be sorry. I was just joking, right? Chaliye, next. Mistake regarding foreign law by both the parties. This is okay. First one to answer correctly, Sapna, followed by Amit and Ria. Correct answer, students. This will be treated as void agreement. Mistake regarding Indian law by both the parties. This is Sapna, Ria, and Amit. Correct answer, students. This will be treated as valid contract. Mistake regarding Indian law by one party only. This is Amit, Sapna, and Amit and Sapna. Correct answer. Om and Ria, please do correct your answer. this is going to be treated as a valid contract only. Okay, why? Because ignorance of law is no excuse. We are talking about Indian law here. Okay, this is going to be treated as a valid contract. Mistake regarding foreign law by one of the parties only. This is Sapna, Amit, correct answer. Om, please do correct your answer. The correct answer is valid contract. Okay. Under section 19, coercion contract is voidable in the cases of. Under section 19, contract is voidable in the cases of Sapna, correct answer. Amit, correct answer. Amit, first one to answer correctly. D. Coercion, fraud, and misrepresentation. And under section 19A, contract is voidable in the cases of. Sapna, first one to answer correctly, that is B. And yes, this is the case of undue influence. Amit, correct answer. The term fraud has been defined under section. Correct answer, Sapna. That is B, section number 17. A committed fraud with B and enters into a contract. The contract is voidable at the option of. A committed fraud with B and enters into a contract. The contract is voidable at the option of. Amit, correct answer. That is A. नहीं A ने fraud किया ना. A commits fraud with B. So the answer is B only. See students, A committed fraud with B and enters into a contract. So A is the one who is committing the fraud, right? And who against whom? Mr. B. So the contract is voidable at the option of B only. That is, the answer is A. Okay. Correct. So 46 A. Okay. Okay. Privity of contract is. What is privity of contract? First one to answer correctly, A. Sapna, correct answer. Amit, correct answer. Only parties to the contract can sue each other. That is your privity of contract. Anything, student, which you are not clear with? Yes, please. Anything which you are not clear with before concluding this? Done? Okay, students, so this is the link of my profile. Please do follow that to get all the updates about my special classes and my plus courses. This is the link of my Telegram channel where you can connect with me, and this is my code KHATRILIVE. This is the schedule of my classes, students. I'm also taking classes on current affairs, Muslim law, revisional classes on IPC. These two classes, A and C classes, are the special classes. So all you need, these are completely free of cost. All you need to do is just made your account on Unacademy, and you can use this code KHATRILIVE and you can get free access of all the special classes. Okay. There are plus courses going on Muslim law and on CRPC, and these are the contract classes going on for your YouTube sessions. Amit, indemnity we are going to start with Monday only. Okay, so after that on Monday we will talk about indemnity. And as far as privity of contract is concerned, privity of contract says if there is a contract between A and B, then only Mr. B can file a suit against A and A can file a suit against B. No third party can interfere. Yes, there are certain exceptions to that, but in a general sense, privity of contract means only parties of the parties to the contract can file suit against each other. So that is the concept of privity of contract. Sapna, your question is A ने B को 50 लाख में हाउस सेल किया, B ने 45 लाख कहा, A ने मना कर दिया, कुछ टाइम बाद B 50 लाख लेके आया, क्या A का ऑफर अभी भी है? No. See, in this case, okay, I'm reading your question again, Sapna. A ने B को 50 लाख में हाउस सेल किया, ओके, B ने 45 लाख कहा, A ने मना कर दिया, ठीक है, कुछ टाइम बाद B 50 लेके आया, क्या A का ऑफर अभी भी है? नो. अब जो ये 50 लाख का ऑफर्स है, जो ये 50 लाख का ऑफर दिया गया है, दिस इज द प्रपोजल फ्रॉम B साइड. नाउ इट इज ऑन A वेदर ही वांट्स टू एक्सेप्ट इट और नॉट. क्लियर सपना? डन? Okay. Okay, let me explain this then. I'm going into the details of this one. Okay, students, now listen carefully. So suppose there is Mr. A. He gives the proposal. Okay. And this proposal to Mr. B. Right. That he wants to sell his house in 50 lakh rupees. Okay. The moment Mr. B says, I'm ready to pay 45 lakh rupees. In this scenario, now this was the proposal, and what is this? This 45 lakh is basically, this is not acceptance. This is counter offer. Okay, and once the counter offer has been made, and now it is on Mr. A whether he wants to accept it or reject it. But later on, if Mr. B is going to Mr. A, with 50 lakh rupees, in that case, this will be treated as a proposal. Now it is on Mr. A only that whether he wants to accept or reject. So here you will explain all the essentials of proposal. Okay, let me tell you now how you will write your answer. Here you will first explain the concept of proposal, section number 2A. Then you will explain the concept of counter offer. Okay, there is no specific section, so this is one of the kind of proposal you can say. Okay, and after that you will explain that this is not acceptance. This is not acceptance as per to section number 7. And here after that you will explain that it is always the discretion of Mr. A whether he wants to accept it or reject it. I hope it's clear now. Sapna, are we done? Okay. So let's conclude this class, students. So let's crack PCS J with Unacademy, compete with thousands of aspirants and stand out from the crowd. You will get all the subjects in the special classes, students. These are some interesting special class features like interactive live classes, poll for learners. You can raise your hand and you can actually communicate with the educator. Never miss a class, as you will get on all the notification. You will get the lecture notes and you can access them anytime, anywhere. India's best educators are available for you. This is the pricing plan and the plus subscription. And you can always use this code for 10% off. Once you're a subscriber, you can attend all these courses, students, by different educators. This is the YouTube and the Telegram channel of Unacademy. And on that note, do like, share, and subscribe. And yes, it's time to say peace.